are going to talk about reconnaissance. That is the first phase inside your ethical hacking journey or your bug bounty journey, right? Reconnaissance, as we all know, is a very important component of your bug bounty hunting or your pen testing. Why? Because with reconnaissance, you get a lot of different assets. You get access to certain endpoints, certain assets that you might not get access to while you're doing your normal testing. Over here, we are not going to talk about the normal reconnaissance that you always do, like subdomain enumeration, path traversal, path finding, hidden paths, maybe port scanning, etc. But over here, we are going to talk about certain techniques that one might miss. So like in the bug bites section, we saw a tool called as Katana. That would be covered over here. We saw more such different tools. There are more such different tools that all of them would be covered over here. So let's start. All right, quick introduction about me. I am Vaibhav Lakhani. I have around 3+ years of experience with InfoSec, be it cybersecurity, VAPT, threat hunting, etc. I have been recognized as top 15 hackers in Jan 2020 by the Government of India. Bounties and Hall of Fames from various organizations, including United Nations, Dutch Telecom, Sarova, etc. I'm an instructor at Udemy for Android and iOS pen testing courses. There are 2 of my courses which are a part of the giveaway of this session as well. So after the session, I will be giving away them for you to access it for free. I'm CEH and EJPT certified along with OSCP maybe by next month. So that was a little bit about me. Let's start in deep dive into all of those reconnaissance techniques that you might have missed or you might have known but you do not use in your normal terminology. The first one is favicon hashes. So what are favicon hashes? The question comes from there. The first or the icon that you see when you are accessing a particular website, that's what we call as the favicon hash. I'll be showing you an example. But what exactly is this favicon hash? Favicon stands for, first of all, favicon stands for favorite icon. It's a short form for favorite icon. If you club it, it becomes favicon. And favicon is that logo of a particular company, okay? So for example, Tesla. Tesla might be having its own logo, right? Take HackerOne. HackerOne also has its own logo. Take Google. Google has that G logo of its own, right? That's what we call as favicon. Now, favicon helps you, or each favicon has a different or a unique identifier. And using this identifier, you are going to find more assets. How? We are going to see in a minute. So let me just go to Google Chrome and all right. And let me just go to a website that is called as FOFA. So FOFA is a search engine, just like Shodan, just like Census, just like Grey Noise. FOFA is a search engine that is specially developed for the country China. Okay, why? Because China has blocked all the access from all over the internet. The FOFA search engine will give you accurate results for China. Couple of days back, I was hacking on a Chinese website and I could not find any results on Shodan. Neither could I find any results on Grey Noise, neither on Census. But FOFA gave me around 14,000 different results for that same website. So FOFA is really an excellent tool. Let's visit FOFA. Also, let's try to visit Tesla as well. So if you go to tesla.com, okay, and if you look at the tab of Tesla, you would be able to see there's something called as a red T logo, right? This red T logo is nothing but the favicon of Tesla. It's called the favorite icon of Tesla. So how do you get the hash of this? In order to get the hash of this, we are going to make use of the search engine that is called as FOFA, okay? And using FOFA, we are going to get the favicon hash of it. How? All you have to do is simply write over here tesla.com. Hit enter. Once the results are loaded, you can see there are around 17,289 different results for tesla.com. Okay. You have to select this icon This is the favicon. This is the favorite icon. And over there, you see that icon underscore hash. Okay, this icon underscore hash is the hash identifier or the favicon hash identified for Tesla.com. We are going to use this hash, and we are going to pass this hash to a lot of different websites. Be it Grey Noise, be it Census, be it Shodan, we are going to pass this hash, pass the hash, and get your results. Okay, let me show you an example. So I'm going to take this hash. And I'm going to visit Shodan. All right, just allow me a moment to log in. Perfect. And I'm going to just write over here, I guess it's http.favicon.hash. This is a query that Shodan has inbuilt with it. And we are going to mention the hash value of it, okay? And we are going to hit enter. Yeah. All right. Once you enter the http.favicon.hash value, you would be able to see over here there are many different results of many different IP addresses, which you might not be able to get when you're performing your normal subdomain enumeration or your IP enumeration. So results such as, this particular domain that is 85.239.53. I guess it's a little blur. Let me just zoom in a bit. Right. So you can see over here, Tesla-testdriver.com. Normally, you won't be able to find this, right? Why? Because this is not a part of a normal subdomain of Tesla.com. However, it does have the Tesla's logo, Tesla's favicon hash, which means that this is included in your scope, and you can hack upon it. Now, once you find this, where is it? Yeah. Once you find this Tesla.test-driver.com, you can run a subdomain enumeration on this and grow your assets, grow your subdomains more. So this was one of the first techniques that we used, okay, using which you would be able to get more such subdomains. Again, you will have to check, okay, because over here you can see there's something called as 4x8.natak.shop. This obviously won't be belonging to Tesla, right? It has used Tesla's icon, but this won't be belonging to Tesla. So you are going to get a lot of different results. However, you will have to check whether these results that you get will be useful for you or not. So this was the first technique for the day, that is favicon hashes using FOFA and Shodan. Getting this hashes is also simple. Instead of going on to fofa.io, you can visit this particular website that is called as favfreak.py. This is a beautiful tool created by a hacker called as Devansh Batam. He is a wonderful hacker. He has a lot of different tools. You might have heard about Param Spider, right? Param Spider is again developed by Devansh Batam itself. So you can use this tool as well to get the hash value. A result of the same is seen in the image. Right, moving forward. Let's talk about favicon hashes more. We are going to introduce you to a tool called as favicon. What favicon does is, okay, it detects the type of service and application based on the favicon. So not just the favicon hash, but you also get what server the website is running on. Okay, so for example, let's say google.com. I've taken an example of google.com, okay, and all the domains, I have multiple domains of google.com. What this is going to do is, for all the domains that I've mentioned over here, it's going to give me the favicon hash, as well as it's going to give me what server it is running upon. So google.com is running on Google, office.com is running on Microsoft 365, Wikipedia.org is, the website's title is Wikipedia, etc. It's going to give me all the necessary details using, as well as the favicon hash as well. So again, favicon is another amazing tool. Let me show you an example of it. Okay, so in order to, give the example, we are going to run this tool on tesla.com as well. Okay, we are going to first find all the subdomains of tesla.com. We are going to check out which all of the subdomains are running, and then we are going to pass it to favicon. Once we pass it to favicon, we will get what favicon hash has, as well as what server it is running on. So let's take this example. All right, so I've started finding subdomains for tesla.com, and I've started an HTTPX on it. And as you can see over here, we are able to get tesla.com's first subdomain. I'm stopping it over here, but you can do this for all of its subdomains. So what it has done is, it has started taking akami.api.gateway.de.tesla.com, which is a subdomain of Tesla. Okay, it is up and running. And as soon as it is up and running, it is trying to take a favicon hash. And with the favicon hash, it's taking what web server is this. So we get to know that this is running on Microsoft 365. And the favicon hash for Microsoft 365 is this. Okay, similarly, autodiscover.c.tesla.com, it's running Microsoft Outlook. And Microsoft Outlook's favicon hash is this. So this makes your process more simpler, right? You get to know what the domain is about. Okay, if I have something called as digital assets, it's running on Cloudinary. If I have something called as business UI ownership, it's running on React. Maybe React is a front-end language, right? We all know that. So this makes your work more simpler. What type of attack you want to do and forward on this particular subdomains, you can get to know that. Right, so this was the second technique, leveraging your, The favicon hashes belongs to what server it is present. So for example, let's say Microsoft 365, okay? So it's using a Microsoft 365, and for that, the favicon hash is this. If you have a look, the favicon hash for both Microsoft 365 is going to be same. However, the domain name is different, right? So basically what's happening over here is your subdomain is using Microsoft 365, and that's the reason it's going to give the favicon hash for Microsoft 365. That was for Tesla.com. Over here, we are not having favicon hashes for Tesla. We are having favicon hashes for what this assets server contains. Right? So, for example, autodiscover. Right? Autodiscover is usually used for Microsoft Outlook. So for Microsoft Outlook, the favicon hash is going to be this. Right? If you take this favicon hash, search it on FOFA or maybe on Shodan, you'll get the hash as Microsoft Outlook, not as Tesla.com. So this hash value is for the server or for what service it is running, and not for your main domain. Clear? Understood? Right, so this was the second technique where you get favicon hashes using favicon Recon. Over here it's clearly mentioned that it detects the type of services and application that is based on favicon. And this is a simple command. You can use a more sophisticated command as per your needs. The third technique for the day is Crunchbase. More companies. So as a company, okay, Tesla.com might be, acquiring more such companies, right? Acquiring small companies. Usually, big companies do these. They acquire small startup-based companies. They acquire other companies, right, to increase their plan, to increase their portfolio, right? That's where we are going to attack. We miss this. Why? Because we think that this might not be containing in scope. However, this does contain in our scope. Now the question comes, how do we get to know which companies or where these companies or where can we find which acquisition was done when? The answer is Crunchbase. Crunchbase is a company that provides business information about private and public other companies, okay? You get all the information, what is the revenue, what acquisitions it has done, etc., everything. So using Crunchbase, we will be getting to know what are the sister consultants of a particular company. So for example, I'm going to take an example of Morgan Stanley. Okay, one of my bug bounty targets was Morgan Stanley once a while. Okay, and I came to know that Morgan Stanley is not just one company. It has 10 different sister companies or 10 different subsidiary companies, and each subsidiary or each sister company has its own acquisition. So now my target is not just morganstanley.com, but my target is all the subsidiaries. Maybe Morgan Stanley's short form is ms.com. My target is ms.com as well. Maybe it's morgans.com as well. Or maybe it's mstanley.com as well. Everything. That's where Crunchbase helped me out to find all of these things. So let me take a while and give you a look how Crunchbase is going to help. So let's close this first. And let's go on to Crunchbase. All right. So you go directly onto the search bar and you start searching. Let's take example of Morgan Stanley itself. You start searching for Morgan Stanley. All right. And we are interested in two organizations. You can see Morgan Stanley is not just one organization, but it has a list of different organizations. It has Morgan Stanley Japan, Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, Morgan Stanley Capital Group, Venture Partners, Capital Partners, Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, etc. Everyone. Now what we are going to do is we are going to go into each and every Morgan Stanley. Okay, I'm just going to go on to the first 5, but you can visit each and every one. Right? So let me just go on to it. Perfect. So first, Morgan Stanley is our main target. That is Morgan Stanley. You get to know the website's name. Okay, so you can add that to your scope, morganstanley.com. You get to know what are the acquisitions of it. Click on the acquisitions, and you can see you have Bloom, Fusion Connect, Eaton Vance Management, okay, E-Trade, Microlife Corp, KSH Infra, etc. So these are more Morgan Stanley acquisitions, and these are also in your target. Why? Because these are acquired by your main target, Morgan Stanley. Going into this, okay, let's say the first one, Bloom. All right, for Bloom, you see the website is bloom.com. Add this to your scope. You can find subdomains of it, you can find ports of it, you can find IP addresses of it, right? You then also have, okay, Crunchbase has this thing that it has some free daily limit, but this is bypassable. Use your HTML techniques and you will be able to bypass it. All you have to do is inspect element and just delete this. Perfect. And you can see Fusion Connect, acquired by Morgan Stanley. Fusion Connect also has 6 more acquisitions. Go and try for them as well, because indirectly, these are acquired by Morgan Stanley itself, again. Right? Similarly, you have more. Now, I have to do this HTML wala thing every time, so I'm not going to do that, but I hope you get what the point is, right? Coming to our main thing, you can see Morgan Stanley Japan. Now, we already know that morganstanley.com is our, attack, or is our target domain. However, if you see the website for this, for Japan, it's morganstanleymufg.com/GA. You won't be able to get this if you only focus onto morganstanley.com, right? So if you have a look at this, this comes into your scope as well. Why? Again, it's Morgan Stanley. Right, moving forward, Morgan Stanley Japan might have its own, acquisitions list. However, if it doesn't, you can move forward. This is again morganstanley.com. We'll skip this. Again, morganstanley.com. But this one has an acquisition. And you can see there's an acquisition which is very recent, few months back, Feb 1, 2023. Again, you can go for this and you can find all of the details. Very simple technique, but a lot of us miss this as well. Moving forward, once you find a lot of companies, okay, you can use another technique that is called as reverse whois lookup. We all know what is whois lookup, right? Whois lookup is you go on to whois, you check for all the basic details, who is the technical registrar of this company, what is the technical email of the company, etc. Whatever you see out, you check it out from them. But what you can do is, what different you can do is, you can perform a reverse whois. So think of a scenario. Let's say a person A is the information security officer or the CISO of a company, registering a website called as abccorp.com, right? Now that abccorp.com or that particular person is associated with abccorp.com, right? How about if someone or if that person registers another website, right? Then there's a chance that another website that is of a different company might be somewhat linked with this company. I hope you are getting my point. My point to note is that if the same person is registering two different domains, okay, there's a chance that both of these domains are interlinked. And that's what we have to find. And how are we going to find? That's what we call as reverse whois lookup. So it's a pretty simple technique. All you have to do is you first have to perform a whois technique, get the domain name or get the technical email address, use that technical email address and put it on reverse whois lookup, and you find all of those domains where that same person has registered with it. Okay, so in order to perform reverse whois lookup, I'm going to use for Quora. Right. So here I have something called as domain@quora.com. Okay, I'm going to show you this. So we are going to go on to a website called as who.is. Right, and we are going to search maybe for quora.com. Let's refresh. Perfect. Let's take an example of this. All right, and for Quora.com, we are going to find the technical address or the technical email. Let's have a look where it is exactly. Maybe. Yep, perfect. You can see over here the registrant email is domain@quora.com, and this is what we are going to take into consideration. Okay, and once we take into this into consideration, we are going to go onto a website that is called as what was the website's name? This one, drs.whoisxmlapi.com. Okay, and let's first start logging in. Perfect. And we are going to search over here, domain@quora.com, and hit enter. Okay. So with Quora.com, you will be able to see a lot of different 98 domains that have the same registrant as domain@quora.com. Okay. So there's a chance that these domains also belong to Quora.com or belong to the Quora website. Okay. Some of them, definitely, they won't be belonging to it, right? But some of them, yes, they will be belonging. So for example, over here you can see, I'll just zoom in a bit. Okay, so you can see over here, Quora.us, Quora.gs, Quora.la, maybe Quora.fr, okay, QuoraGlobal.com, Quora.ht, Quora.af, all of these belong to maybe some country domains. Like, so for example, just like we have gov.in, similarly over here we have Quora.af or Quora.ht or Quora.la, right? So there's a great chance that these domains will be belonging to Quora as well, and you can check out or you can grab these domains and find subdomains of them. Or maybe find, ports, different ports, or maybe different assets of them. So this is another great technique that is called as performing a reverse Whois lookup, wherein you are able to find more different types of assets. The next technique that we are going to have a look of, that we are going to have into consideration is MEG. Yeah. Okay, so what I might be doing is I might be taking those domains, okay, and then I might be giving it to Favicon, right? Favicon might give me the Favicon hashes. I might be matching if those Favicon hashes belong to Quora or not. So if it does not belong to Quora, skip those domains. Yeah. Download it. So all you have to do is you have to paste it into a file, okay, cat that file, put a pipe command and give it to Favicon. That's it. Once you give it to Favicon is going to give you the Favicon hash for it, and you get all those results. Okay, coming to the next beautiful tool called as MEG. MEG is a tool developed by Tom Nom Nom. I know, or I hope everyone remembers Tom Nom Nom, a great hacker. What MEG does is, it is basically not going to lie, but it's nothing but FFUF. But I consider it better than FFUF. The sole reason is FFUF will not give you the request and responses. MEG does that. What MEG is going to do is, MEG is going to take a path from you, a host.txt file from you, and it's going to create all of these random files. Now these files are not random. These files are files wherein what the request has been sent and what is the response what is the response that is coming from the website. So maybe the response might be 404 not found, or maybe 403 forbidden, okay? But there's a chance that the response that you are going to get back, the header might contain something, or maybe the body might contain something, or there's a chance that your methods, maybe there are some methods, maybe a get method has been sent, but if you send a post request, you get a different type of response, right? When you're doing with fuzz, or when you're doing with FFUF or maybe WFuzz, you don't get to see what request is being sent, what response is being received, right? You only get to see that when you put a proxy to it. Now, putting a proxy for such different thousands of word lists is practically not possible for us, right? But what you can do is you can use Meg. Meg will help you find hidden paths, okay? And for whatever request it has sent, be it 403 forbidden, be it 404, it's going to list all of those requests, okay? And maybe if you want to filter, then there's an index.php file that is being created. Sorry, not PHP, it's index.json file that is being created. You can cat that JSON file and use it with grep. Okay, so I'm going to show you a demonstration of it. Okay, another beautiful thing about Meg is Meg does not flood traffic. Okay, so maybe, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, or at least I have experienced it. Whenever I use fuzz or whenever I use FFUF or WFuzz, at one point of time, the server blocks me, right? There's a chance that you guys might have experienced this as well. With Meg, I haven't experienced that yet, okay? With Meg, all of the requests, all of the response I get without my server being blocked, or without the server blocking me up. So let's have a look at Meg. In order to download Meg, all you have to do is you have to go to Tom.nom.nom's repository, or maybe you can search for Meg GitHub. So this is the file. You can install this using a simple command with Go. Go install github.com tom.nom meg at latest, okay? You have to provide two things to it. One is a file full of paths, this thing, okay? And the second thing is a file full of hosts, right? These two things you have to mention. Now, paths, you can use any one. I would recommend using Seclist. Seclist has a lot of different fuzzing things available, okay, inside the content discovery directory. The one that I'm going to use currently is Raft Small, because we have less time for this session. So I'm going to use Raft Small. However, you can use Raft Medium, Raft Large, whatever you like. And after that, we also have a file full of hosts. So that's what we are going to mention as well. So in order to do this, right, so in order to do this, I already have a host.txt file with me, wherein I've mentioned tesla.com, okay? And I have a Raft small directories.txt with me. Now, if you would have a look at the documentation, okay? Documentation says that you require path names to be given in this format. That is, slash should be added in forward. However, with Raft small directories.txt, you do not have that slash forward. So instead of adding slashes, what I did was inside the host.txt file, I've just added a slash at the end, right? You can do whatever you feel like to, but we are going to use this, and we are going to use this with a simple command that is meg host.txt, right? And raft.txt. I'm going to save this inside a folder called as output, and I'm going to hit enter. Oh, sorry, just a minute. I guess I messed up with the command. It's Meg first the rafting and then the hosting and then the output. Right. So it has started taking the first one, https tesla.com/images. The second one, CGI-bin. Okay. It's going to take a while, /media. However, let's do one thing. Let's go to the desktop. Tools, output, and you have tesla.com. And if you see over here, it has started creating a file. Okay. Zooming it a bit, you can see access denied. So for the first one, it has the access denied thing. It has 403 forbidden. Okay, you get to know that there's Akami G host that is being present over here. You get to know that a request is being sent to tesla.com/admin. Okay, /admin is a valid endpoint. However, there's 403 forbidden that is with it. And you get the response of it as well. So certain times you might not receive these responses, but with Meg, that's not the case. You get the responses of it as well. There might be multiple files that would be created. Okay, all you have to do is, I'm going to stop this for now. This was just an example, but all you have to do is, you can see that this is the file that is created, and for this file, it gives you that tesla.com/admin has 403 forbidden response code. Now there are multiple files that is being created, just like as you can see in this PPT. Over here. Okay. I had this running for example.com itself, and there were multiple files that was created for example.com. All you have to do is you can cat it, and you can maybe use grep in order to grep for certain status codes. So this is again another technique called as Meg that is interesting. Coming to the next one, way more. We all are using Wayback URLs. We all are using Go, right? Except for these two, there are other different websites as well that you should be using. You should be using urlscan.io, you should be using alienvault.com, commoncrawl.org, etc. But Waymore is a website, Waymore is a tool that is going to help you use all of these different tools at once, okay? All you have to do is you have to install Waymore. It's a Python script, install it from GitHub. It's pretty simple to install it. And we are going to run Waymore onto, again, tesla.com, and let's compare the results. So I'm into Waymore's repository, okay, and I'm going to use waymore.py. The command that I'm going to use is python3 waymore.py -i tesla.com mode u. Okay, and I'm going to hit enter. There are various different modes, okay, but if you see, it has used 183 links from Wayback Machine, that is archive.org, and it's still taking time. Let's wait. All right, while this is taking time, I already have one for testphp.web. So I'm just going to show it to you. So we have a file called as waymore.txt, okay? And let's use WC to find the number of items. You can see we have around 543 for a single website. That is for testphp.webweb.com. Now just imagine, what if you send a list of subdomains, you get more results than your normal Wayback Machine and your normal GAU. So that's way more. And as the name suggests, it's more URLs, more endpoints than your normal domain. We talked about Katana in Bug Bites, okay? And now we are going to have a look at it. Katana is a tool created by Project Discovery, okay? It's a very great company that creates many different tools. We all know Project Discovery for Nuclei. It has made a lot of things simpler for us. However, Katana is an advanced web crawler, okay? Just like your Wayback URLs, your urlscan.io. It's an advanced web crawler that crawls all of your endpoints. What Katana does is it also crawls for JS endpoints as well, okay? So you can crawl JS files. You can do, or you can say that if you want to crawl the scope or you do not want to crawl this scope, you can specify the depth. You can enable if robots.txt, whatever things that are mentioned in robots.txt needs to be crawled, or you do not want to crawl it, everything, okay? There are a lot of hackers that are being using Katana on Twitter. If you just check out, there are a lot of different one-liners that are available now, wherein you can find a lot of different things. Okay, so this one is, again, a one-liner, the last one, that is going to give you a lot of different, it's going to match a lot of different keywords, a custom word list. It's going to match a lot of different keywords, and it is going to give you a lot of different things from what Katana has crawled. To use Katana is pretty simple. We are not going to go much into depth of Katana, but we are just going to run it for one particular website, that is testphp.webweb.com. All you have to do is run katana-u https and the website's name. And it goes on crawling and crawling for all the different things. Now, you might feel that this is similar to Waymore, similar to Wayback URLs, but that's just the case for testphp. I've used testphp right now because it's already in my cache, and it is giving me faster results right now to save our time. But however, you can use all of these different switches that are present over here. It's a short form of some switches, okay? I have a Medium article on Katana as well. You can just search my name and write Medium. You'll be able to get the Medium article on how to use Katana effectively. Right, moving forward, third-party endpoints effectively. Now, this is something that we have already seen while doing Crunchbase. However, I'm just going to, recap it. In Crunchbase, we saw for morganstanley.com. I told you that morganstanley.com is not the only domain that you might be looking for. There might be a domain called as morganstanleymufg.com as well. That's the same case over here. For tesla.com, there are two things that you can search out for. Okay, one is tesla.star. We all do this. We only focus on star.tesla.com. But what about tesla.in, or maybe tesla.de, or maybe tesla.uk? Who is going to search for that? So that's one thing that you can find for things like in Quora we saw. In Quora we saw that Quora.hk, Quora.us, Quora.uk, right? Similar thing, tesla.star. Search for this. And the second one is tesla-star.com, or maybe .star, or whatever it is. These two things are something that is very much important for us, okay? And we are going to use a website called as urlscan.io. All right, you can see for HackerOne, it's already listed over here. We are going to search for Tesla. Okay, and I'm going to search for tesla.star. Click on the search button. Right. Now, if you see some of these domains, okay, tesla.gopnik.net, tesla.dghome.top, okay, and one more I saw, yeah, over here, tesla.hyw.ai. I'm not saying that these domains belongs to Tesla, but all I'm saying is you can have a look for these domains as well for at least once, okay? Does not mean that this is in scope, but there's a 50% chance that it might be in scope, right? So just don't limit yourself to star.tesla.com or maybe star.tesla.in, but try finding creative ways in order to find this. Just like you find Google Docs in the year 2020, I guess everyone has maybe found one Google Doc. You try to be creative with Google Docs, right? With Google Docking. I'm going to show you how creative you can be with Google Docking, maybe 1 or 2 slides later. But yeah, just like you be creative with Google Docking, be creative with your scanning as well. Okay, there's a chance that scanning of Teslas or scanning of tesla.star or tesla-star will be a great impact for you. So that's scanning third-party domains effectively. Right. Just a minute back, I talked about docking effectively, and I'm going to show you how you can dock effectively. We use all of those Google domains, Google Docs, right? Site, in title, in site, in URL, etc. You don't have to do all of those stuff. There's a website called as Pentest Tools, which has something called as Google hacking, okay? And it's a very famous thing, or it's very great thing to use this instead of that. How? Let me show it to you. All you have to do is you have to go on to Pentest Tools. Google hacking, okay? Pentest Tools has 18 different docs. 18 different predefined docs for them. Okay, docs contain publicly exposed information, directory listing vulnerabilities, database files exposed, log files exposed, login pages, SQL errors, PHP info. It also contains GitHub as well as gitlab.com searching as well. So that makes your GitHub docking or GitHub searching effective as well. It has stackoverflow.com as well. Many developers, anyone from developing background might be knowing that they post a lot of questions on Stack Overflow. And there's a slight chance that your API keys or your secrets might be leaked on Stack Overflow. This particular tool searches for stackoverflow.com as well. So we are going to, and it searches in Wayback Machine as well. You can find subdomains, you can find sub-subdomains, everything. We are going to search for Tesla, okay? I'm just going to write over here Tesla. And I'm going to write over here maybe login pages, because I'm a guy who loves authentication bypasses. So I'm going to write over here login pages. And over here, if you see, right, you get login pages for tesla.com, okay? This saves your time. You see over there a fancy doc has been created by Pentest Tools, right? Over here you can see site tesla.com in URL, login, sign in, login, sign in, auth, etc. Right? This makes your work more simpler. What else you can do is modify the doc. Don't stick to this. Someone automates it for you, don't stick over there. Modify it. Modify it as per your understanding, as per your resources, okay? Maybe you can modify this doc in order to say, sign me up. Or maybe you can modify this doc in order to say register. You will be getting registering pages as well. So that's docking effectively, how you can dock up, okay? Hunting CVEs, enrich and DNSX, okay? Now, we all have the habit of nuclei. We run nuclei whenever we see a bug bounty program, and you get all of those critical high vulnerabilities. They might be false positive, they might be true, or you might be getting a lot of bounties from it. Enrich and DNSX is similar to it. It's similar to nuclei. The only fact or the only difference is what enrich and DNSX in combined does is DNSX is going to give you your IP address, okay? And enrich is going to find what CVEs are present on those IP address. I'm going to take up an example, okay? And the example is from a website called as scanme.nmap.org. That's a website that is the example that I'm going to take, because I know there are certain CVs that are present on scanme.nmap.org, okay? We all know that, and we might have used this website before as well. So let me just take the command and paste it. Right, so the command is echo scanme.nmap.org. Okay, I'm going to pass this to DNSX. I just want the A record, so that's -A. I want to see only the response, so that's -response only. It's RESP. Okay. And I'm going to pass this to enrich with a dash. Okay. It's one thing. Let's put HTTP. What's wrong? Oh, no such file. No problem. Perfect. So you can see over here, the website scanme.nmap.org has 4 ports open. 22 for SSH, 80 for HTTP, 123 for NTP, I guess, and 31337. I don't know what port it is or what service is running on it. But you'll be able to see there are lots and lots of vulnerabilities that are associated with these ports. So combine enrich, combine DNSX, okay? For all the subdomains, over here I have only used one particular subdomain. However, you can use a list of subdomains as well. This increases your impact, or maybe at least a chance of getting the CVE. You have to do a little bit of manual work, search for what each and every CVE means to you, okay? And whether there is an exploit that is available for it or not. But yes, that is manageable. I guess there was, or there are certain one-liners wherein you will be able to get the information of a particular CVE. There's an API, I guess, on cvdetails.org. I need to check that. But yes, if you just pass the CVE ID, you will be able to get the CVE details. So this is how you can mass hunt for multiple CVEs, and you can check them out as well. Moving forward, uncover your secrets. Uncover, again, a tool created by Project Discovery. A very beautiful tool created by Project Discovery. What Uncover does for you is, it's going to take in certain docs. Now these docs are related to your Shodan, related to your census, related to your FOFA. Okay, these are docs that are related to, all of those third-party search engines, or all of those search engines, not the normal ones, but your device's search engines or your IoT search engines. Okay, there is a list of different search engines that are available for hacking. Okay, so these are all of the different search engines that are available. You can have a note of this, around 30 different search engines. Okay, but the one that we are going to use is using Uncover. Uncover is going to automate all of these processes used. Okay, all you have to do is you have to mention your docs into a file that is docs.txt and pass it to Uncover. Let me show you an example. All right, so I'm inside Waymo, and I guess inside the results section. Okay, no issues. Let me create a doc, and we are going to find that doc. All right, so the doc that we used, it got saved. Right. So the doc that we used was sslhackerone.com, okay? And if we pass it to uncover, you don't have to worry about passing this to Shodan or passing this to census. What uncover does for you is it's going to give you all the IP addresses that is associated with this particular doc that is found against all of the different applications, all of the different third-party search engines, okay? And it's going to give you the port numbers as well. So what all search engines it searches for, let me show you that. It searches for Shodan, for census, FOFA, Hunter, Hunter How, public www, and criminal IP. These are my API keys. No one is going to use them. I'm just closing it for safety purposes. But all you have to do is you have to mention all of these API keys, and it's going to give you a variety of different results. Now the result, something that I mentioned inside docs.txt was a query specific to Shodan. So it only gave me result specific to Shodan, okay? If you want more results for the same website, you have to specify the docs for all of those different domains. And it's going to give you all the IP addresses along with its port numbers. Now take these, put it in DNSX or put it in Enrich, you get the CVs. Once you get the CVs, exploit them, reported them, you're good to go. So a simple recon technique with uncover and with Enrich can maybe get you a high or a critical level bounty, right? Moving forward, search engines, we already have seen this. JS analysis, a very important thing, but still a lot of people miss this out. Various methods to do JS analysis, a lot of different methods to do JS analysis. You can use link finder. I hope everyone knows how to use link finder, right? Link finder is over here inside the screenshot. Not going to waste my time over there since we are lacking of time. You can use link finder, find all the links that are available. You can use sub.js. Again, everyone might be knowing how to use sub.js. You can use, okay, so for sub.js, you can use your URLs, put it to Go, put it to sub.js, or you can use way back URLs and put it to sub.js, or maybe you can use now Katana, or maybe you can use way more and then give it to sub.js. Something that not a lot of people are using is Trufflehog Chrome extension. I am not sure if a lot of people are using this or not, but I specifically created this slide only to show you how Trufflehog works. So Trufflehog is a Chrome extension that gets involved or that gets attached with your Chrome browser. It's over here. All right, all you have to do is enable all of these switches. Right, and just browse your website normally as you do, nothing else. So I'm going to browse Udemy. And there you go. You get your API key directly as a pop-up over here. You can see there's an API key that is found somewhere in your JS file or somewhere at the background. That's how TruffleHog works, okay? You can go on to maybe medium.com. Medium.com also has this particular vulnerability. So TruffleHog makes your work simpler. This extension also, you can install it for your Firefox as well. Right now it's for Chrome. You can install it for your Firefox as well. So this makes your JS analysis pretty simple using TruffleHog, Sub.js, and Link Finder. The first two, everyone knows them, so we are not including it. The last one, I'm sure that some of you all might not be knowing, so I just use that. Enumerating GitHub repositories, okay? There's a beautiful tool created by Trickest, okay, which allows you to enumerate repositories. Enumerating repositories means now there's a, let's say you find during your reconnaissance phase, you come to know that I'm working for abccorp.com, right? And you come to know my GitHub ID. Now I have hundreds and thousands of different GitHub repositories that is present with me. How are you going to search for them? Trickest has one of its enumeration part that it has given the source code for, that is called as enumerate repo. What it does is it lists all the different repositories for a particular user. Not going to take much time on this. Going to complete it in a moment. So all you have to do is all right. So all you have to do is you have to create a file called as account.txt. Right, I'm going to give my GitHub ID over here. And I'm going to paste a command that is enumerate repo. You have to mention your token string. This is your GitHub secret credential. Okay, and you have to mention your usernames and you have to click on the output section. What it's going to do is, okay, output is already a directory. What it's going to do is it's going to list all of your repositories, all of your accounts repositories, along with what language that is being used over here. So I have a couple of directories listed onto my GitHub, and it has listed all of those over here. So now I don't have to manually go onto GitHub and enumerate. My enumeration part over here has been completed. This is a section of Trickest. Not that much useful, but still it gives you everything on your command line, and it is going to help you some way or the other. So here comes the last technique for the day, nuclei fuzzer. Nuclei, we all use it, okay, but only some of us use with a fuzzing tool. You might be seeing screenshots of this floated all over Twitter right now because it's something that that is being useful and something that is being, very much into trend right now. What it does is it takes in your URL, okay, it fuzzes for particular parameters, and then it passes all of those parameters to nuclei. So now you do not have to just visit a particular endpoint, but you also have, or you can also get a lot of different things by passing it to different, by passing the parameters as well to nuclei, right? So I'm going to show you a simple thing, how this thing works out. You can install this tool from GitHub. It's pretty simple to install it. I'm just going to run this tool. It's going to take in Param Spider by Devansh Batam. Okay. A lot of people are using output as their own. No, never mind. Right. So it has found total unique URLs as 109, okay, very quickly, and it has passed on to nuclei. Nuclei has started its scanning. Right, and it has started finding a lot of different vulnerabilities. So it has started finding redirect.php r equals to open redirect vulnerability. In a couple of minutes, you will also be able to see SQL injection, etc. So it's not now just the scanning phase of a particular domain or particular subdomain, but it is now also the scanning phase of your particular parameters as well, right? So it has started fuzzing for parameters. You can see buy.php, rate.php. You can see a lot of different things that is present over here. Yeah, I guess there are certain things that are, coming or popping up again and again, but those can be avoided. You can maybe use something called as unique in order to sort all of these things out. So that's it, guys. These were some of the recon techniques that I felt a lot of people are missing out and just wanted to share that with them. Any doubts, any questions, you all can ask me right now, and then we can move on to the giveaway phase.
Do we have any questions? Anyone? Okay, let's move to.
Great. So I'm giving away my 2 courses that are present on Udemy just for this SB Meetup. You can scan this QR code. The first course is about iOS pen testing, okay? The QR code's link is valid till 11 p.m. today. After that, the course coupon would be expiring. So make sure to use this. Also make sure do not forward this outside of this room, right? The first course is about iOS pen testing, okay? You can have a look at it. It's a very different course than what's there in the market. I've taken examples of how iOS devices work, showing up live targets, iOS security protection such as keychain, and iOS pen testing on static and dynamic analysis. Done with the slide? Scanned up. The second one is on Android pen testing. So both of my courses are live on Udemy. Make sure that you guys rate them. I'm giving away it to them, so make sure please rate them and give them stars. The second one is on Android pen testing. It covers all the security concepts by Android, such as Dalvik VM Android components, Android architecture stack, and static and dynamic analysis of Android. That's it, guys. Thank you. These are my social media handles. You all can connect with me on them.